Hey, this is Seeing Detail. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my predictions for UFC On FuelTV 9, which happens on April 6th. Gegard Mousasi versus Ilir Latifi. Yeah. Obviously, the main event was changed. It was supposed to be Gegard Mousasi versus Alexander Gustafsson. With that change happening, I mean, this fight card on paper is kind of alright. You know, there's a couple fights here, kind of look like score-offs matches. As far as divisional relevance goes, I mean, the only one that's really relevant would be like Mike Easton versus Brad Pickett, because they are top bantamweights. Otherwise, no one else is particularly ranked that highly. Gegard Mousasi is pretty ranked highly, but he's not fighting someone that's ranked highly himself. Good prospects here, though. Adlan Amagov should be fun to watch. Conor McGregor makes his UFC debut. Robert Peralta is someone to watch out for as well. So yeah, so on paper, you know, not the best fight card. Potential matchups though, you know, Pickett has fun fights. Brandao versus Garza could be great, or could be fun. Amagov versus Spang could be a great stand-up battle, you know. So there's definitely some potential for violence here. That's for sure. Okay, let's get started. Okay, on the main event, we have Gegard Mousasi versus Ilir Latifi. Not much I can say here, you know. I got Mousasi winning this. Latifi, 7-2 record with 1 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 3 wins by sub. Training partner of Alexander Gustafsson. 29 years old, 3-fight win streak. Within that win streak, he did beat Tony Kryptonite Lopez. He's taking the fight on short notice, which really works against him. It's also his first fight in the UFC. He actually has some Greco-Roman wrestling. Good striking as well, but Gegard Mousasi, I mean, 33-3 record with 2 draws. 18 wins by KO and 11 wins by sub. He's 27 years old on a 3-fight win streak. His most previous win being over Mike Kyle. You know, he has a really high level kickboxing. His stand-up's very technical. Good kicks. His overall defense, you don't see the guy get hit clean too many times. So he has overall good defense. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is actually really strong as well. He's good off his back. You know, he'll throw up triangles and whatnot. His ground and pound's really good too. He watched a Pablo fight. Knocked him out with ground and pound. His takedown defense, it's not as bad as a lot of people say. I mean, you got the Jardine fight where he got taken down, King Mo fight, but it is definitely his weakest point. And I would say it is weak takedown defense overall. It's his first fight in the UFC, but I think Gegard Mousasi wins this fight any way he wants. Next fight, I thought Ryan Couture fights Ross Pearson. I think this fight's going to go like Pearson Soteropoulos, except that I don't think Pearson's going to get his back taken in the first round. You know, Couture's a tough guy. Trains at Extreme Couture on a 4-fight win streak, even though I felt he lost to KJ Nunes. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's good. His wrestling's not too bad either. Overall, just a tough guy. But Ross Pearson, solid boxing, man. Good defense, too. Trains at Alliance. Uses combinations. His grappling's improving, and he's always had good takedown defense. I think Ross Pearson gonna defend takedowns and beat up Couture on the feet. I got Ross Pearson winning this one. Next fight after that, Mike Easton fights Brad Pickett. The problem with Easton is he's kind of underperformed in the UFC. You know, he's a good fighter, trains at Alliance, 29 years old, 13-2 record, stand-up solid, takedown defense is solid, very strong guy, you know. I think it was a Jack Slack article in Bloody Elbow, and I was reading Easton's fight against a Sunshell, and it's pretty much the story of how Easton was losing against really bad stand-up. You know, I mean, the guy just kind of badly underperforms a lot of times. But Brad Pickett, you know, 22-7 record, 7 wins by KO, 10 wins by sub, Trains American Top Team. He's 34 years old. Guy's a brawler with a really strong chin. Eddie Wineland could not put him away. He could drop him but not put him away. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, really strong actually, and his wrestling's good. He actually managed to take down Demetrius Johnson almost at will. Very aggressive and always pushing forward. Got to go with Brad Pickett to win this one. Next fight after that, Felt DeFries fights Matt Mitrione. Well, DeFries has a 9-2 record with 1 no contest. 8 of his wins are by submission. Both of his losses are by KO or TKO. One to Stipe Miocic and the other to Todd Duffy. He's 26 years old, trains at Alliance. Matt Mitrione, he's a Brazilian, 5-2 record, 34 years old. He's on 2-fight losing streak. Lost to Congo and Roy Nelson. Thing with Mitrione though is that he does have heavy hands and good kickboxing, and he moves well for his size. His takedown defense isn't that great, which could be a problem against DeFries. Otherwise, I think Matt Mitrione beats him up on the feet, maybe even knocks him out, you know. I'll go with Mitrione to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, Diego Brandao fights Pablo Garza. Fun fight here, actually. Garza, 12-3 record with 2 wins by KO or TKO, 7 wins by sub. He's 29 years old, tall and lanky guy. Really strong off his back. He's shown good up kicks against Dennis Bermudez. Did a flying triangle against Yves Dubuin. Stand-up's not too bad as well. Has some good knees. He showed that against Fredson Paixão, you know, knocked him out with a flying knee. With Diego Brandao, though, 15-8 record, 8 wins by KO or TKO, 4 wins by sub. He's 25 years old, trains at Jackson's. Striking can be a bit wild. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really strong. Armbarred Dennis Bermudez from his back. Very aggressive, always pushing forward, and has shown cardio issues in the past. However, and he fought Joey Gambino. He's a lot more conservative. Still aggressive, though. I mean, he knocked him down multiple times, but seemed to have paced himself really well. I expect to actually see that Diego Brandao fight Pablo Garza, not the one that does super well in the first round and just dies in the second and third round. So I'll go with Diego Brandao to win this one. And finally, Akira Corassani fights Robert Peralta. Well, I don't think Corassani beat Andy Ogo in his last fight, to be honest, but he is 10-3 record with 1 no contest, 1 win by TKO, 3 wins by sub. He has all three of his losses are by KO or TKO, and he's 30 years old. Trains at Renzo Gracie. Decent stand-up, good left hook. But Robert Peralta, man, what I call dark horse prospect and featherweight. You know, there's always these prospects that are just totally flying under the radar, but improving every fight. You know, another guy that's a dark horse prospect, Brad Tavares in middleweight, and this guy is picking up wins. You know, he's not all. You know, you don't really hear too much about him, but he's always improving. You know, and could potentially become a top 10 guy, to be honest. Robert Peralta, I'm impressed with this guy. 16-3 record with 1 no contest, 12 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by sub. He's 27 years old. Strong kickboxing, man, and this guy has some KO power. He knocked out Jason Young in his last fight in less than a minute. You know, I got to go with Robert Peralta to win this one. Okay, on to the prelims. Michael Johnson fights Reza Madadi. Michael Johnson is just one of those guys that's you know, he does really well. He was on a win streak before losing to Miles Jury. I mean, he beat Tony Ferguson and knocked out Danny Castillo, you know. 12-7 record, 6 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by sub. He also has 5 losses by sub. He's 26 years old and trains at Brazilians. He has good offensive wrestling and good kickboxing, but he's always been weak off his back. Reza Madadi has a 12-3 record with 1 TKO and 7 wins by sub. He's 32. Good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Really aggressive. Always pushing forward. You know, it's good wrestling. He's one of those guys that's stuck to you like glue when he tries to take you down. You know, if Reza Madadi can follow the Miles Jury game plan of taking the fight to the ground and using top control, he can beat Michael Johnson. I'm gonna go with Michael Johnson here. I feel that he will be able to beat to defend the takedowns and beat Reza Madadi in the stand-up. So I'm gonna go with Michael Johnson to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, Marcus Brimage fights Conor McGregor. You know, I always pick against Marcus Brimage, and he keeps proving me wrong. You know, I mean, I picked him in his first fight in the UFC. I forgot who he fought. I picked against him there. Picked against him against Maximo Blanco, and I picked against him against Jim Haytes. The thing with Brimage, though, I mean, three times in a row now they've set him up against like hot prospects. You know, Conor McGregor is a pretty hot prospect. Haytes was a hot prospect. Maximo Blanco was a pretty hot prospect too, and he keeps winning. And I keep picking against him. Brimage has a 6-1 record with 2 wins by KO TKO, 4 wins by decision. 27 years old on a 4-fight win streak. Trains on American Top Team. His stand-up's pretty solid. His takedown defense is good. You know, Jim Haytes had a really hard time taking him down, and even when he did take him down, Brimage managed to scramble back to his feet. However, with McGregor, 12-2 record with 11 wins by KO TKO, 1 win by sub. Both of his losses are by submission. So win or lose, all of his fights have been ended in by finish. This is his first fight in the UFC. He's on an 8-fight win streak. You know, I hate picking against Marcus Brimage because it always comes back at me, but I'll do it here. I got Conor McGregor winning this one. Okay, next fight after that, Michael Cooper fights Tom Lawler. Interesting fight here. You know, I'm kind of going back and forth with my pick here. Michael Cooper, 12-1 record, only lost to Rafael Natal. He's has 7 wins by KO TKO, 4 wins by sub. He's only 23, good kickboxing, and he has some judo as well. But Tom Lawler, 8-5 record with 1 no contest, 3 wins by KO TKO, 3 wins by sub. 29 years old, trading wins and losses. He has good wrestling, good top control, decent stand-up, you know. The thing with Cooper, I remember in like the Natal fight, I think he was taken down. I'm not saying he has bad takedown defense, but he was taken down against Natal a good amount of times. And I feel that Tom Lawler's wrestling, he'll be able to take down Cooper and win probably with like top control. That's kind of how I see this fight going down. I'm going with Tom Lawler to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, Papi Abedi fights Bassam Youssef. Can't really say I'm impressed with the Youssef. 6-1 record, 2 wins by KO TKO, 3 wins by sub. He's 27 years old. Lost to Simeon Thorson, you know. Haven't seen him since. But he's fighting Papi Abedi, who has underperformed. He was a hot prospect coming in. 8-2 record, 5 wins by KO TKO, 2 wins by sub. Both his losses are by sub, by rear naked choke in the first round to Thiago Alves and James Head, 34 years old, 2-fight losing streak. But he does have some strong judo, and his offensive stand-up's good. However, his defense in the stand-up has some holes. Thiago Alves managed to find holes in his stand-up, and James Head, they managed to drop him. Despite that, though, not really impressed with Youssef, so I'll go with Papi Abedi to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, Adlan Amagov fights Chris Bang. 2 good prospects here. You know, Chris Bang, 5-1 record, 3 wins by KO TKO, 1 win by sub. He's 25 years old. He's got some good kickboxing. Has a good notable win over Nashan Burrell. You know, knocked him out. It's his first fight in the UFC. Same with Adlan Amagov. This fight's going to be at 170 pounds, and it's Adlan Amagov's first cut to 170 in his first fight in the UFC. Amagov has an 11-2 record with 7 wins by KO TKO, 4 wins by decision. He's 28, training at Jackson's right now. He does have some good stand-up, but he can get some really reckless with it too. He'll throw some wild strikes, but he has some power and he throws with some ill intent. And he's got that Sambo background as well. You know, I'll go with Adlan Amagov to win this one. Okay, next fight that Ben Holloway fights Ryan LaFleur. Holloway has a 12-3 record with 6 wins by KO TKO, 4 wins by sub. He also has all three losses are by sub as well. He's 32 years old on a 6-fight win streak. Showed some good stand-up in his last fight. Ryan LaFleur has a 7-0 undefeated record with 4 wins by KO or TKO and 3 wins by sub, so all of his fights have ended in a finish. He's 29 years old, a Ring of Combat veteran. It's his first fight in the UFC. I'll go with Ryan LaFleur to win this one. And finally, Tor Trong fights Adam Sella. Adam Sella is really well known for getting knocked out by a spinning back kick from Uriah Hall. But he does have a 4-0 undefeated record with 2 wins by KO TKO and 2 wins by sub. Trains at Finney's Hit Squad. He is a finisher. He's never been past the first round in his pro MMA career, and it's his first fight in the UFC. Tor Trong has a 15-4 record with 1 draw. 6 wins by KO TKO, 5 wins by sub. He's 30 years old on a 4-fight win streak. And he's shown to have some pretty good kickboxing. I'll go Tor Trong to win this one. Okay, to recap the main card, I have Gegard Mousasi beating Ilir Latifi, Ross Pearson beating Ryan Couture, Brad Pickett beating Mike Easton, Matt Mitrione beating Philip DeFries, Diego Brandao beating Pablo Garza, and Robert Peralta beating Akira Corassani. And on the prelims, I have Michael Johnson beating Reza Madadi, Conor McGregor beating Marcus Brimage, Tom Lawler beating Michael Cooper, Papi Abedi over Bassam Youssef, Adlan Amagov beating Chris Bang, Ryan LaFleur beating Van Holloway, and finally Tor Trong beating Adam Sella. So that's pretty much it for my UFC on FuelTV 9 predictions. If you have any comments, just leave them below. That's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.